What's up everybody, welcome to Money Management channel. My name is Andrei and today I'm gonna be doing an update on MMTLP and FINRA saga.
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed, born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up.
And for today's video guys, I have several very important news. First of all, I will show you a ridiculous fine that FINRA charged from Citadel Securities. And I have to say that it is another evidence of unfairness of the entire US stock market. And I will show you why I think so. On top of that, I will show you the response of Greg McCabe in regards to the most recent news of lease cancellation. And I have to say that it is not so promising, but we have some light at the end of this tunnel. And the light is definitely the litigation processes, and I will show you what should we focus on in order to be the most effective team and in order to achieve the best possible results from this very point for the entire MMTLP community. And that's why guys, stay tuned, and before we dive deep into all of this, just hit the like button and drop me a line in the comment section if you think my videos are valuable for you. So let's start with this news that was written by MMAT News, and I have to admit that it is quite funny, so-called funny news if you dig deeper inside it. So, breaking: FINRA charges Citadel Securities for failing to report tens of billions of equity and option order events to the consolidated audit trail. Citadel Securities to pay $1 million fine for the alleged FINRA rule violations. And guys, just $1 million for the company that have billions of dollars of securities sold and not yet purchased is just a fraction of their income. And definitely it is not even worth their attention. But in general, from the FINRA's perspective, this fine might prevent Citadel Securities and other market makers to violate some rules that was set by FINRA and SEC. But guys, definitely $1 million for the company that has billions of dollars on their books is just a dust on the road. And that is why, guys, it is the ridiculous news. But let's dive deep into the main news of today's video. And you know that just recently, just a couple of days ago, NextBridge loses the lease agreement, and it was occasionally cancelled by the University of Texas, and we don't know the reason why they did so. And let me show you this tweet, and it was published by Conwell35, and he wrote, I wrote Mr. McCabe today, and every time I've written him, he responded. And here is the screenshot of the response of Greg McCabe to Marty. As you can see, he wrote, as I'm sure you realize, the loss of the leases at the Orogrande has been very troubling to me and the entire team at NextBridge. We have been dealing with some very dark forces on multiple fronts. I can assure you that I personally do not consider the value of your shares as worthless, and I will continue to work as hard as I can to increase the value of the company for all shareholders. Please stay strong and know that you are not alone. Also know that my team and I have just begun to fight. Greg. Guys, I have to admit that in my opinion it is too late to start to fight. And this fight, in my opinion, started back in 2021 when MMTLP shares became tradable. So we are here for 3 years, and we are almost 2 years in the this illegal U3 hull that was implemented by FINRA. And definitely it is not the answer that we all anticipate to see. Let me show you what did Scott Roth write. And I think it's worth much more of your attention. He wrote, McCabe needs to provide answers, not in 2 months, 3 months, next year. I don't care to believe anyone who says there is a plan. My concern is that it appears those people who went into NBH via AST, now Equinity, are screwed in NBH goes into bankruptcy. The policy of not wanting to piss off the SEC and FINRA mafia has shown fear only emboldened them. The evidence was clear to me and others months ago that the SEC was dragging its feet and trying to destroy NextBridge. Whether McCabe and company have their management acumen on the J-band or not is not my concern now. They just got steamrolled. I have attached the email I sent to Greg this morning. He can either decline to answer and continue to take unsolved legal advice that amounts to death by 1,000 cuts, or he can actually do one thing that is needed now in U.S. District Court in Vermont. Provide an affidavit on all the questions in the email below, or at least the critical ones as to short positions left open on December the 9th of 2022. Enough is enough. All the kabuki dancing in the world has led to the 165 million shares in the AST now being in absolute risk, in my opinion, of being whipped out in one bankruptcy filing. Though, again, I am not an attorney. And he added these two letters. Let me show you this in details. The first letter is the response of NextBridge Hydrocarbons, official response to Robert Colby. And in this response, you can see that, let me quote it for you, the highlighted sentence. One of the inquiries was of a size so large that I requested to be on a call with this group. From this call, I now have knowledge of an admitted shareholder imbalance from one single financial institution that is multiples more than 2.65 million shares. There is a significant disconnect between our growing data and FINRA's stated number of 2.65 million shares of outstanding short interest. And guys, 2.65 million shares is the number of short positions that was disclosed by FINRA in the response to the letter that was written by Ralph Norman and that was signed by 74 members of Congress. But here is the evidence that Greg McCabe knows that there is much more shares shorted of NextBridge that was switched to NextBridge Hydrocarbons. And let me show you what did Scott write. So he wrote this letter to Greg McCabe. Based on the lease loss announced on October the 8th of 2024, I hope you will please take some action here by answering my simple questions and not defer to your attorneys as you have in the past. 1. What entity, broker, trader, or representative of any such group approached you about buying shares to cover their short positions? You referenced this in January 23rd, 2024 letter to Mr. Colby. See attached. 2. What is the number this entity asked to purchase? As you stated, it was multiples of the 2.65 million already admitted to by FINRA CEO Robert Cook. 3. Have you had further contact with these individuals to attempting to buy shares from you? 4. To the best of your knowledge or from any data provided to you, what is your estimate of the short positions in total that remained unclosed in MMTLP on December the 9th, 2022 after the U3 trade halt? And he added this. It is essential for you to know that FINRA has filed a motion to dismiss in my case Stroud versus Rubinstein in U.S. District Court in Vermont. Part of FINRA's position is that there were no shorts beyond Cook's 2.65 million and therefore my claims must fail as this short squeeze never materialized. I have evidence otherwise. Your numbers will be critical in court now, not later. My case is designed to get over several motions to dismiss and stays for arbitration, and once it does, I intend to turn it over for class action certification on behalf of the surviving MMTLP shareholders. Not aiding here in my efforts is tantamount to condemning the MMTLP people left with QSIPs for MMTLP to once again fend for themselves, while you provide what appear to be more illusory promises of efforts on our behalf down the road. In short, Confucius once sagely observed, "Better a certain enemy than an uncertain friend." You appear to be more the latter at this point. Time to push your lawyers aside and lead and assist me now, so I can take the fight to FINRA and the SEC and other bad actors in this whole fiasco of fraud, regulatory capture and predatory actions by brokers and market makers. I need these questions answered by October 15th of this year. So, as you can see, Scott set a clear deadline and Greg has just 4 days to respond to this letter. And guys, I think these 4 days might be crucial for the entire MMTLP saga, because if Greg keeps silence in regards to this letter, in this case, we will not have any chances to find this information other than from Greg McCabe. But if Greg steps into this answer, steps in to answer to Scott, in this case, we will know that he's on our side. And in general, guys, take a look right here. Mark Basile, in response to the Scott Roth's tweet, wrote this. I said this 3 months ago, and guess what happened? Minion emergency meeting going into damage control mode. Who is really working to get answers? I know Scott and Anna Trades is, as well as several other people, but others are silent. And Ryan Yen wrote this to Mark. People let Burda off the hook too. He said he hired Wes, then didn't mention it anymore. I think it's just time to move on, except the money is gone. And Mark responded, unless holders are going to hold those that lied to them, misled them, and basically kept them separated from their money for almost 2 years accountable, then what's the point of any more talk? Because other than 3 or 4 people, it was all talk. They should start by blocking those that actually lied and misled them. It is a cult, and there are a few to actually blame for that. So guys, as I already mentioned, I'm completely unbiased in this case, and I told you if John Burda and George Palikros are guilty in this case, they have to be prosecuted. And the main goal for us, for the entire MMTLP community, is to receive back all of your money that was invested in MMTLP, and to receive some additional amounts of money that will cover your damages. On top of that, guys, take a look right here. Scott also responded to the several questions that were asked by other community members. Galaxy428 asked, Scott, there are members within the community that have supposedly been in meetings with McCabe. We need to have those people reach out to him and make sure he's aware of your email. And Scott responded, no, they don't. He got my email. He can answer it. If you are saying the CEO of a company needs social media people to ask him to respond to an email that is important to shareholders, then we are in deeper trouble than just a lease lost. And I completely agree with this statement, because if the CEO of the company keeps silence, why in the world he will fight for us? I think he won't. And the only way how we can push our case forward is the official path, official letters to the CEO and C-level executives to have more data, more sensitive data that supposedly Greg has. And these data should be used in the current and potential upcoming litigations. So let me show you more update from our community. You know that, and I mentioned about it just minutes ago, that if John Burda and George Palikros are guilty, they have to be prosecuted. And let me remind you that despite the fact that John Burda said that he didn't sell any shares of MMTLP or Next Bridge Hydrocarbon, he did it. And here is the official summary of the number of shares and other short positions in Next, Bridge Hydrocarbons. Due Diligence Parody, a quite funny Twitter account, wrote this. Just posting this. This is all of John Burda's stock sales over the years. Remember, he said he hadn't sold a share in 11 years prior to him dumping his MMTLP on us. And here's the number of shares that he sold. And here is the number of options and warrants. And the total number of shares that he sold is 4.278 million, almost 4.279 million shares. And this is the entire number of shares he sold, included the options, converted options of his position. So definitely he misled at least once MMTLP community, and we have to keep this in mind. On top of that, guys, let me show you this tweet. Canwil35, the person who received this answer from Greg McCabe, also wrote this tweet. 7 hours ago he wrote, I contacted Schwab to request a DWAC of my MMTLP shares today, and they refused. And I asked them to put it in writing. Why? And they said they refuse. So guys, again, we can clearly see more efforts so that Schwab tries to stonewall any other actions to see the resolution in this case. That is why, guys, in my opinion, the fight just started, and we've just became more angry to have the answers to fight against these wrongdoers. And I think despite the fact of the recent news in regards to our Orogrande Basin lease, we have to continue our fight, because the main actions that leads to the U3 halt and to the majority of damages for the MMTLP community was the U3 halt itself. And guys, let me tell you my personal story. I have a wife and 2 children aged 11 and 15, as well as a small dog. After 30 years of living in Russia near the Baikal Lake, we decided to move. Now we reside in Serbia. Although I don't own any MMTLP shares, I invest a lot of time creating daily MMTLP videos. I have been doing this every day without days off and holidays for more than 1.5 years. Now I wish to buy back this time from my family, from my children. We've agreed that I will ask the MMTLP community to support me, and I will give all the money to the children. Therefore, if you believe that I am providing useful content for you and wish to support me, you can join my Patreon account. For $5 a month, I will add your name to my list of supporters if you wish. Thank you in advance. The link you can find in the description below. So, I think that's all information that I want to provide you. If you like my video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel, and see you guys and girls next time. Bye!
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed, born a rock